Hello, today I will be doing a video on IRI's masking rules, specifically adding those to the data classes and the data class library. So getting started, I have in my Project Explorer a brand new IRI project called Testing 2, which has the preloaded data classes when creating a new project. So just a little bit of background. Rules are an item that is being applied to a data class. And as you may know, a data class is used to identify PII using both location and data matchers. And we get to these rules by, as I said, going into the IRI library. So there's a few ways that you can go ahead and create a new rule. First things first is we can either go into the actual data class. So if we click this and we open it up, you can see a little create button over here next to the default rule section. But we're going to go ahead and go into the rules and we're going to select add. But as you can see here, there is already a rule created because that comes when we created the new project. But for now, we'll just select add and we'll go into data rules. And now that we have the rule wizard open, we can go ahead and take a look. So from here inside the rule wizard, we have a few options to choose from. We can filter through FieldShield, DarkShield, or all. We can also go ahead and search for any of these rules if we know which one we want to use, such as so. And again, FieldShield selections and DarkShield selections. But we'll leave it at all for now. And inside the actual box here, you can see that the rules are broken down into a few categories. So we have masking, scroll a little bit further, migration, quality, and generation. For our first example, we'll be using masking, and I'll select the most common one, which is going to be encryption. So as you notice, when you click a rule, it's going to go ahead and change the rule name down here, and that goes for every single one of these rules. We can also change the rule, so we're going to go ahead and change it, and we'll just change it to lowercase fpe for format preserving encryption. We'll go ahead and select next, but we can also overwrite an existing rule with the same name if we happen to have one. So from here, we're given a lot of choices for encryption and decryption, and you can go through them if you'd like, but the one we're going to pick is going to be the ENC_FP_AES256 alpha num. And essentially what this is it's just a format preserving encryption that can take in a passphrase. And this is just a little phrase that we can use to decrypt in the future if we would like. Here you can also encrypt the string, and you can also browse for a file. So we're just going to put a passphrase of secret, and exclude would exclude any specific character or string from being format preserved encrypted. But we'll just leave it alone as it is, and we'll go ahead and select finish. And as you can see here, now under the rules and the rules library, we now have our FPE rule. Here we can select edit, and this will allow us to edit the rule that we just created, and we can remove it as well if we would like. We'll go ahead and make two more rules. So we'll go ahead and go into the data rules section again, and the next one is going to be a redaction. And for the rule name, I'll just change this to SSN redaction, and we'll click next. Here, there is a few options that we can choose from. We can use predefined masks, which we created, and as you can see, the whole field would mask the entire field. And there's a few other selections that we can choose from, such as the USA, SSN. But as you can see here, the mask example has dashes, and our data does not. So we're going to go ahead and instead use the defined mask. So it's going to mask the character by a star as default, and the start position, we can go ahead and make that as 1, since we want it to start at the first number, and have a length of 5 because we only want the last 4 of the social to be shown. We'll select Add to Table, and you can see here the arguments have been added. So for instance, if you wanted to only keep the middle 2 numbers, you can do that as well by going into the start position and changing from the 5 to, let's say, a 7 or an 8, and we can go to 10 and then select Add to Table. And now it's going to be masking from 1 to 5 and then 8 to 10. But we're just going to go ahead and remove that by right-clicking and selecting Remove. We'll hit Finish. And our new rule has been created, SSN redaction. We'll do one more rule, and we'll select the data rules, and this time we're going to go under masking and a pseudonym replacement and a custom set file replacement values. I'm just going to name this one pseudo name replace. We'll select next. And here there's a few options. We can do a non-recoverable pseudonymization or a recoverable one, which requires a 2-column set file. But we're going to do a non-recoverable. We'll select Browse, and we'll go ahead and browse to where our workspace is, which is right here. And inside of our workspace, we ship with these sets, and inside these sets is a names folder. And I'm going to do this names first and last. I'll select OK, and I'll select Finish. Now we have 3 brand new rules that we created, and the one rule that was here when we created the project. So to apply these rules to our data class, we'll go ahead and go over to the data classes themselves. So for the SSN, we wanted to do a redaction, so we'll just click it, go over to the default rule, and select the SSN redaction, and that changes the default rule for us. We'll go ahead and go into phone number, and as you can see, the FPE is here, but we'll go into the one that we created instead just to make sure that's the one we want to use with the secret passcode. Finally, we'll go into the names, and this is actually a data class group, which just gives you more control over your data classes. But we'll just go into the group itself, and we'll change the default rule to a pseudo name replace. So just like that, we have created some rules and applied those rules to the data classes. And again, the data classes are used for searching and finding the PII, while the rules are there to tell the data class what it wants it to do once it finds that PII. And in the next video, I'll go ahead and be talking about the data class map and showing you what all of this looks like put together.